see you guys. Hope all is well. Um, for some reason, my notifications is not working very well. Anyway, I hope everything's okay. Uh, Partly cloudy here and 45 degrees. It's warming up a little bit. Talked to my building maintenance guy today yesterday, and so hey Nancy, um, oh, you're talking to, okay, should go Virginia 1 and Virginia 2, anyway, he was not really looking forward to having to pick up all the excess leaves and everything that's blooming. There's some blooming right now. Buds are coming out and it's warming up and everything. So, and there's chickadees and barn swallows up here on my eaves. So my cat chartles at them when he sees them today. Wow. Okay. So it's warming up in Boston, right, Virginia? It's warming up here in Lakewood too. So anyway, I assume you guys are keeping track of all that's going on with the New York Manhattan DA and everything. And I bet he's so close to slapping a gag order on Trump. I mean, I would. Trump has been making all kinds of threats and everything else, and it is a felony to threaten a federal judge. And so I'm pretty sure they're going to slap that charge on him too, because that crime that Trump just committed is recorded. Trump is so stupid. He's not listening to his lawyers, and his lawyers are not following the rule of law themselves, and I think they both should be stuck in jail. Anyway, Trump is acting like a mob boss and a schoolyard bully, all rolled into one. When people stand up to him and say, hey, just shut up and just let things work. And he doesn't like when people stand up to him. Well, that's just too bad, you know. I would suggest that they quietly indict him. Don't put out the news until after everything happens. Indict him, put him in jail, put him in solitary, take away all of his electronic toys, and probably a follower. Oh, they could trace it back, Nancy. They could trace that back on where it came from. And they'll jail the person who's doing that. And you would think that hardcore Trump followers would realize the consequences when they do this, and the laws were put there for a reason. Oh yeah, I know. So that's recorded, and they should throw him in jail for that. Indict him, throw him in jail, put him in solitary. I'm talking about he who should not be named. Put him in solitary, take away all his toys. With no electronics, no cell phone, where he cannot broadcast any of this on his Truth Social. Now that's one platform that needs to be shut down. They need to leave, Congress needs to leave TikTok alone. Oh yeah, he will be arrested, and he should be thrown in jail. He should not, once the indictment happens and he's processed, They should not let him go on his own reconnaissance. They should put him in jail and put him in solitary. Keep him there. And the only access he has is to a public defender, not his lawyer. His lawyer's been breaking laws too, and his lawyer is going to lose his law license if he's not careful. Okay? Why do you think all of Trump's lawyers have quit? Not the ones that got in trouble, but the other ones that quit. And they said he won't listen to anybody. He thinks he knows it all and everything else, and that's why they quit. And he hasn't paid them either. Um, so, it'll happen. I believe it'll happen because there's also an indictment coming down Washington, D.C. too regarding the top secret documents that were found in Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence. Hotel. So he's in trouble for that, and then he could be charged for espionage, which carries a heavy sentence there too. So you know what? They should take all three indictments from Georgia, D.C., and New York, bundle them together, and do it all at once. Then have the trial, and on three separate trials, or they could do the trial all in one big subject. Just bundle it all together and just do it all at once. Sure, it'll take time, but at least it will. Because if they have him in jail and they're doing the trials, they're just, the Manhattan trials, they could do that first. And then they could do take him to D.C., put him in jail in there, and do the trial there for espionage. And then do Georgia and put him in jail for that charge. And then sentence him to federal prison forever. How long? On all those charges. Because he cannot do business in New York anymore. They banned him from that. So, what I suggest New York would do is seize his assets. Seize his golf courses, his assets, his buildings, everything. And the employees that worked there, I feel sorry for them. They should have not worked for him at all. And they should throw the book at him and throw the book at him hard. That's my thing. They should figure out a way how to. They did find more classified papers. Where did they find him, Virginia? In his golf course or his ex-wife's grave? Huh. Well, his hole so deep it's probably gone to Russia. But, they need to find a way of gagging him. Put a gag order on him. They need to put duct tape over his mouth to shut him up. So sick and tired of it, what he's doing. Now, on the other side, speaking of D.C., we have you heard on the House by Jim Jordan, the idiot. I think he missed too many required law course classes. Or didn't take them, or he skipped class. Okay. Missed civics class. Jordan wanted to investigate the New York DA and put a stop to the indictment up there. And New York DA slapped a very harsh letter back to Jordan and said, no, you don't have jurisdiction up here, ever. Congress never had the jurisdiction. This is all on state level. And this is in the federal judges and federal prosecuting attorneys level. So Congress had no power over that at all by state. And it's part that Tim Jordan either he's forgotten or or refuses to understand. I noticed the MTG and Boulder have been unusually quiet, which is good. I think they've been slapped back so hard that they decided to keep their mouth shut. You know, even the GOP in Congress have been really quiet too, because they're not in defense of Trump. Just maybe one or two people. You mean waste of space? Uh, Not all. We should not be lumping all of both the House and the Senate together on this, Virginian. We know who are causing the problems and the troubles. And yeah, those are the mega hats. Those are what I'm talking about, Nancy. And um, you don't need to be careful on what you post, Virginia. You need to call it out and speak out. Okay? And keep the truth out there. Don't let it intimidate you. Even D.A. Bragg is not intimidated by Trump. He's seen this so many times through mobsters, mob bosses, and everything else. They do the exact same things that Trump is doing. So, don't, no, don't, just call it out and post it. And if Facebook doesn't like it, well, that's just tough, okay? That's what free speech is, okay? Call it out and be feisty. I am. I call it out. I'm feisty about it all the time. And I have it set up in such a way where the bots and the algorithms, bots and everything else, I block them on my feed and everything else. I go in there and block it. And they can't, they have no way of getting through. Now, the other thing that's really getting to me is why are they focusing on TikTok? And they're wanting to ban TikTok. Well, a lot of people use TikTok because they like the setup and this notion, oh, well, they are take your names and this and that and the other. In other words, the lies about TikTok, the myths about TikTok taking your information and everything else. Well, I was sitting there laughing because Google does, not Google, but Facebook doesn't. Instagram not so much, but Google does it. What's the other one? Twitter, and probably True Social does it too. But in True Social, one difference with that one, you have to pay to get into True Social. So I'm not interested in True Social ever. They said people said it's very poorly set up. Well, those I'm sorry. Those that did we needed another platform, yes. Okay. Let's see. Now there are some other platforms out there that specialize in different things. Okay, Pinterest, they specialize in promoting small online stores and businesses. That's what Pinterest does. There's several others out there. It depends on what they do and how they're set up. But we need something to, yes, to replace Facebook. Or, here's another thought. Force the issue of having Meta being broken up. Because I get the impression with good old Zuckerberg, he is not, he is so paranoid of new social platforms popping up. He does his best to do interference. In other words, not letting him get on, gain a foothold or anything else. And then he's the one who's also creating the mess with TikTok. He's the one that's causing this. Well, Meta should be broken up. They should focus on Meta. Go after them. And say, okay, you know what? We'll break you up. You go back to Facebook. You give Instagram back to your original owners. You give YouTube back to their owners. No, he doesn't own YouTube. YouTube is run by Google, so we don't have to worry about that. But he, those social platforms that he owns, they should be sent back to their original owners and not allow monopolies occur in social platforms. Okay. So he needs to learn a number of things, and I noticed that now I haven't seen any of the bots or anything show up on Facebook. Now I would imagine, or the what do you call it? I hate it when I lose my train of thought, you know. They need to, like I said, they need to focus on Meta and break it up and not allow monopolies, ever. Because we all see what happens when a monopoly occurs or somebody's trying to corner the market, you know. Facebook is not the only one out in the land. It's not. You've got several. I have I have TikTok. I dropped Twitter. I didn't want to contend with he who shall not be named, but I understand he's not back on Twitter. And there was talk on Facebook inviting he who shall not be named back on Facebook. Well, people threatened to Zucker and said, if you do, we will leave. In other words, hurt him in the pocketbook. And, you know, we need to fight back. We need to insist, persist, and fight back and say, okay, this is what needs to be done. So, in the case of this quote-unquote woke thing that's happening in Florida with DeSantis, he's a stupid idiot, and he needs to be told to his face he's a stupid idiot. And I go, I don't care if you're a governor or not. You just don't sit there and disrupt the education system in your state. Have you ever looked at your standings in state as far as education goes, especially clear up in colleges and high school and elementary and middle school? And banning books is not the answer. Okay? And the only thing that should not be allowed in libraries, school libraries, is porn. That should not be allowed in there. Um, so common sense needs to come back. And banning books is, you need to educate kids on everything. All history, everything, irregardless, whether it's good or bad history. Bad history, we need to learn from it and do things to prevent it from happening again. Uh, but if DeSantis doesn't understand that, then I think he skipped school a number of times or didn't bother to study. That's the impression I get. Now, as far as the elections go next year, and with he who shall not be named possibly indicting, they should not allow him to run whatsoever. The Federal Elections Commission should throw out his application and go, nope, you've been indicted, you're in jail, and you're a felon. Nope, you can't run, ever. Um, it sounds like DeSantis is, he's ignorant as far as how the Bible goes. Why is he banning the statue of David? Excuse me? I mean, that's been around for a long time. Even my own pastors are shaking their heads at this. And even this one, uh, what was it, state legislature person said, okay, fine, we'll ban Bibles from the libraries. Well, DeSantis got upset about that, and I go, well, they could learn that in sex education class. I mean, it's ridiculous. Um, I'm really laughing because you go around Europe and they use these statues of various figures, okay, throughout history. Some are naked, some are not. And so what? And I'll bet you that DeSantis is sort of a hypocrite. I'll bet you he goes down to the nudist beaches. You know, uh, people should push back against him. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. And that's the thing he didn't understand. And he should be slapped back for it. So, now if Facebook doesn't like what I said about this, well, that's just tough. Okay? Um, Florida, or DeSantis is doing what Germany has been doing. And back in the 1930s. You think he would study history on that and say, hey, this is not the way to do it. You don't want history to repeat itself, ever. And if he wants to support Trump, which Trump will be in jail, I don't know what he's going to do when Trump is in jail. Or if Trump chooses to lock himself in Mar-a-Lago and refuse to turn himself in, then they can arbitrarily go down to Florida and say, here's the arrest warrant. And Florida has no choice but to let the FBI go in there and arrest him. Okay? Federal power of federal law only trumps state law. Sorry about the pun. So DeSantis is powerless. He probably secretly wants Trump in jail just so he'd be front runner. DeSantis would be front runner in the Republican Party. I don't know how many people really like DeSantis. I really don't. Right now, the GOP doesn't really have any good common sense or work across the aisle. Yeah, I bet you are, Virginia. Yeah. See, they need better candidates, the GOP does. Okay? And they're gonna lose next year's election. They really are. And I'll bet you 2 to 1. Sooner or later, more and more people are waking up to this, if you noticed. Um, Especially younger kids are really woke, so to speak. They're smart, the younger kids, and I'm glad that they are. Um, they need to push back, and many of them this year will be turning 18 to vote. So we need to kick out the GOP out of Congress altogether and replace it with a party that works together to solve the problems and make things better. GOP is long dead and always has been. That's why I left it. That's why I left the GOP back in uh, back in 2008. I left it then. Okay. I was not very happy with the kind of quality of candidates and everything else. Okay. Also, we need to get rid of and kick out the get rid of Citizens United. Oh, Virginia, I don't blame you. I bet you are. I bet you're glad you're back in your old hometown. Um, it's really a shame because Florida is a beautiful state. Okay, you know, the land and everything else. And further south of Florida, I've been to Fort Lauderdale. Um, so they need a better governor in there. Yeah, Facebook doesn't need reality check. And or somebody should do a hostile takeover of Facebook and revamp it and just old uh, give Zuckerberg the boot. He needs to be given the boot. Okay. And some of these companies are laying off people for whatever reason. Laying off is not going to help them. Okay. It's going to cost them more. They should be keeping their employees, and you should be giving them good incentives and treat them better. Okay, well, it's almost time for me to sign off. It's 1:28 here. We'll just keep an eye on all the stuff that's going on Monday. So I'll see you guys on Monday. Let's see, let me check something here real fast. Yeah, I'll see you guys on Monday on April 3rd. Which is yay. No, wait a minute. Where am I? Hold on a minute. Correction. I'll see you on the 27th on Monday. See you then at 1 o'clock. And I love you all. You have a good weekend. Stay safe. Keep an eye out for, storms and everything else. And I will see you guys next Monday. And have a wonderful weekend. Okay? Take care. Love you all. Oh, and I'll post this very video on my YouTube channel. I need subscribers. And I need people, need subscriptions. Okay? Take care. Love you. Bye-bye.